Hi, everyone. I have decided that since it feels like we're so close to something big, I think it would be helpful to go through the various dimensions of reality again in order to remind people that if we want a different reality, we have to have a different consciousness. So I'm going to go through what is third dimensional thinking and behavior like, and then what's fourth dimensional thinking and behavior like, and then fifth. So, um, so third dimension, people living in the third dimension, we are third dimensional creatures. And we have full physical denseness. You know, we're solid. Okay, we are very competitive, very destructive, and very utilitarian. Utilitarian means that we use whatever material is at hand, regardless of consequences. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. We are aggressive and warlike. Third dimensional people have the attitude winner takes all. And there's only one winner. Communication in the third dimension is limited to written, recorded, or actual voice and vision. That's it. It's very limited. Third dimensional people ignore or are unaware of the energy basis of all things. They are also very short lived, maybe 70 to 80 years, maybe, if they take good care. In the third dimension, you have to make a living. You are considered or thought to be somebody who's on your own. We very much in third dimension, we feel like you have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And everybody is a separate individual, and that is something to be very proud of. Individualist. We also have a victim mentality about everything. We are confined to the planet and unaware of other dimensions. We live in the dark because the third dimension is mostly dark. And I mean that literally. There's no, it depends. We depend on outside electrical energy or batteries for any form of light other than the sun. Third dimensional people focus almost entirely on the past, and they believe they cannot see the future. Clothing is laborious to make, to clean, and to repair, does not often fit well, does not last long, and often restricts movement or impedes it in a very subtle way. Actions are done as if they have mechanical effects only. Nobody pays attention to the energetic effect that goes along with the mechanical change. Third dimensional people create huge amounts of waste. They eat food in large quantities and often of poor quality in order to collect enough nutrition and frequencies to live. There's frequent sexual activity among third dimensional people with very little regard for the possibility of pregnancy. People believe that it is their right to have sex, have children, and abort them if they feel like it. Third dimensional people have children, then abuse, ignore, and misunderstand them quite often. Education is lockstep, and it's destructive to the full development of the human being. Organized religions and their beliefs and biases are supported by the majority of the population, who are in turn controlled by priests and popes and bishops and imams and whatever. An external God with many human attributes and all human rules is worshipped as the creator of all that exists. We believe that Jesus died for our sins and thus we are saved, resulting in failure to make an effort to save ourselves. We believe that heaven is a place we go to after a good life. We design and build machines and structures using wood, metal, glass, and other materials regardless of the frequencies they emit. We conduct scientific research in an effort to prove pre-existing hypotheses instead of discovering what might be out there. Three-dimensional people in the third dimension, have little or no concept of what it means to be multidimensional. We dig up, mine, and cut down raw materials from the environment in order to build out our world. We use technology to create weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. We conduct business in such a way that one side wins and the other side loses. People think aging and disease are normal and the result of outside forces. They believe they have little or no ability to change this. Third dimensional people think that whatever you can put in your mouth to fill the stomach is acceptable food. Widespread ignorance of nutrition exists throughout this entire world. Third dimensional people have very poor immune system function, and they have no awareness or use of frequencies in health. Money is used as a measure of value in a highly competitive society. Money is used as a means of security, a means of survival, and a weapon of control. We build and maintain extensive physical forms of medical tools and substances to be used to reduce suffering from disease, accident, or dysfunction. Third dimensional people travel about the planet physically using cars, trucks, boats, trains, and planes that create much harm, require physical fuels, and clear paths to get from one place to another, interfering with a lot of Mother Nature. We need 8 to 9 hours of sleep per night in order to repair and regenerate the body. We design and build a large variety of wooden, metal, and fabric-covered furniture meant to make human life more comfortable in homes and offices. We develop financial systems that extract wealth from everyone until the system collapses and must start over. We go through continuous financial boom and bust cycles where it is every man for himself. And the last fights and wars over gold, silver, rare earths, and commodities are common. So that's life in the third dimension. It's pretty standard here. So let's look at life in the fourth dimension. Fourth dimensional people are still fully physical, but they are less dense, much less dense in terms of how compacted their molecules and frequencies are. They are also very cooperative, and I call that beginning cooperative. They understand that we have a need to cooperate if we're going to survive. Their thinking is, let's correct. Third dimensional thinking is destructive, but fourth dimensional people's thinking is corrective, not destructive. And it's corrective of matter and materials. Fourth D people are beginning generatives. In other words, they create items that integrate with life in a nurturing, healthy way. They're trying to generate frequencies that support life. They are defensive only. Any situation that they're in has an ethic of do no harm. They engage in telepathic communication. They're not limited to written or recorded or face-to-face, voice-to-voice. Lots of telepathic communication. And they're able to use and predict energy and its interactions. It's a key piece right there. 4D people are long-lived, up to 2 to 5 times longer life. So if we live to 80, 5 times that is 400. The attitude of 4D people is we don't make a living, we make a world. They work in individuals or as individuals, but also heavily as teams and as big groups. They are personally responsible. They feel personally responsible for whatever is going on. They are interplanetary. They're not confined to one planet. They interact with third dimension, and they have limited interaction with fifth dimensional people. 4D people generate some light. They are partial generators of light, and they use both outside electrical energy as well as another form that I could not quite identify, but it's always on, does not cast shadows, is very soft, and is about the brightness of a 50 or 60 watt light bulb. 4D people focus on the present, but are aware of both the past and many possible futures that they can choose from. They are still comfortable with linear time, but they use multidimensional time. Clothing in 4D is assembled quickly, always fits well. Some of it is self-cleaning. And each 4D group has characteristic clothing. That's how you tell them apart, because a lot of the clothing looks pretty similar, but they'll have some little thing that makes it different. 4D actions are done with the awareness that they have both mechanical effects and energetic impacts, because they do. 4D people seek to reduce waste or reuse all material. Nothing goes to waste. Nothing. They eat food in small quantities, and that food is of superior quality, often grown specifically for the individuals, for their DNA. There's some sexual activity, but with great care to avoid unplanned or unwanted pregnancy. All children are by choice and are considered gifts or treasures. Next, 4D children are raised with great care and full attention. Nobody has children, then goes to work and gives them to somebody else. Education is individually tailored to the child and its natural abilities. No organized religions or worship exist in 4D systems. Personal responsibility for life, health, and peace, etc., is widespread. It kind of takes the place of religion. People do not subscribe to an external God. They take responsibility for what is happening around them because they understand that the God is within. They also understand that the human passes through a variety, a series of stages of development. They understand that a good life is the responsibility of each individual. They design and build machines and structures using carefully chosen materials that have been developed for the beneficial frequency environment they maintain. Very conscious of the energy field around everything. 4D people conduct scientific research in an effort to discover the characteristic behaviors of frequency interaction and learn how to better coordinate and utilize them. 4D people understand and use the abilities that come with multidimensional existence. They use some third-dimensional products while researching and applying new processes of energy amendment to both new and existing materials. They're always upgrading their material. They use technology to create beneficial tools that will help people to advance their civilization, their human development, and bring a sense of security, joy, and ease to life. Doesn't matter what the challenge is. There's this sense of we got it covered and we're enjoying every minute. They conduct business in such a way that both sides benefit from a win-win agreement. In 4D, health is primary. People practice continuous restoration and repair of the body. They believe aging and disease are the result of ignorance and laziness. They pay careful attention to high-level immunity through nutrition, disciplined consciousness, and avoidance of negative work. In 4D, frequency medicine is the primary system for healing. In 4D, money is replaced by intelligence as the greatest store of value. Wisdom, skills, and foresight are the means of survival, security, and self-discipline. They design and create energy tools and substances with high-level healing capacities in case of accidents or disease. They travel about the planet and the solar system using vehicles and ships requiring plasma energies that can move through any physical substance without harm to either vehicle or physical existence. They need 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night in order to repair and regenerate the body. They design and build basic forms of furniture using unknown material that continuously conforms to human life in order to bring comfort and warmth or cooling. Development of value systems and systems that maintain a minimum standard of living for everyone that's non-negotiable for them. 4D people plan and execute trade that ensures everyone's taken care of and has what they need. And finally, gold, silver, and rare earths are produced from nature, just like we produce grains and food from soil. And then we have 5D, the fifth dimension. There's much less physical denseness. People are not quite transparent, but they're not as physically dense as we are. There's complete cooperation. They understand that energies cooperate and they are energy and everything is cooperation in action. 5D people are fully generative. I said in 4D, they're beginning generatives. 5D is fully generative, which means they can create stable, healthy, beautiful environments, and that they fill all needs with items generated from the field of energy around them. They are defensive only and sometimes transdimensional. Their attitude toward life is do no harm and create or correct balance among systems and worlds. So it's all about creating balance or correcting things to achieve balance in whatever world or reality system they are in. They are very telepathic, psychokinetic, and telekinetic. They're able to use, create, and predict energy and transform energy interactions. It's quite amazing when you see it. Whoa. They are very long-lived, and some of them approach being eternal. Their attitude is not make a living or even make a world. It is heal a world. They're all about healing and balance. They are integrative. They are one with all things. All needs filled by the culture. Therefore, all work is with groups to improve life for all. The groups work with one another expressly to make life better for everyone. Somebody discovers something, invents something, they work to share that across the board with all the groups at their dimensional level. They have a creator mentality. We have a victim mentality in 3D. 4D people have personal responsibility. 5D people are let's create. We created this, let's fix it. Let's recreate. 5D people are interstellar, and some are transdimensional. The 5D people interact with 4D and 6D, and sometimes they'll help 3D people if there's a need. 5D is luminous. It generates intense light from within and uses a form of energy that I thought was based on the manipulation of plasma, fields of plasma. So you begin to not need electric lights because you generate your own light. 5D people have moved beyond time as 3D people think of it. They are multidimensional and they move among various configurations of situational frequency sets at will. That's a little bit complex to get your mind around, but once you see it, it's like, oh, they just reshape and reconfigure themselves to fit whatever situation they happen to be in. Clothing in 5D is individually fitted, is conscious, self-cleaning, contains energetic structures that perform a variety of functions such as healing, warming or cooling, feeding energy into the system. Physical prowess is improved, such as lifting, running, jumping, etc. And I think there's much more to be learned there. And that clothing sometimes appears to be made of light. So 5D actions are done as symbols, symbolic actions, symbols of energetic intervention. They know everything is energy, and the energy precedes the physical action. So they intervene at the energetic level. Attention goes into choosing mechanical and energetic effects that can be expressed by symbols carrying meaning at many levels of reality over the long term and the short term. And they're also very aware of the effect on neighboring dimensions and their reality systems. That's why they freaked out when we started exploding nuclear bombs, because they affect neighboring dimensions. The bombs do. In 5D, there is no waste. It's amazingly clean and beautiful. Wow. Matter is synthesized directly from source frequencies and dissolved back into source when finished with the material. 5D people will often eat a high-density nutrition paste and also take in regenerative energies directly from the environment, clothing, or technology, either worn or implanted. In 5D, there's some sexual activity mostly used, however, sex is mostly used as healing and retuning the energy body. Pregnancy is rare. Babies are cloned to high-level DNA specifications. Children raised in 5D are treasures with full development of consciousness at very early ages. Their 2-, 3-, and 4-year-olds have the same information and sophisticated behaviors and insights as our 20-year-olds in 3D. Accelerated brain compatible individually tailored education is created for each child. Telepathy, telekinesis, and other skills of consciousness are taught and emphasized. The cosmos is an eternal field of awareness where everything is frequency and fields. And these energies are the self-organizing source of all matter. That is sort of their religion. It's a combination of science and religion together. They understand science to a very high degree, and that's they don't have a need for religion. Let's see. There's only the prime creator within who acts in alignment with life. All form is seen as a living expression of the creator. That's the 5D approach. Those two things kind of, the cosmos is an eternal field of awareness, and there's only the prime creator who acts in alignment with all life. That kind of constitutes or sums up their religion, 5D religion, which really you can't call religion. It's this deep, beautiful knowing and awareness. Then 5D people work as teachers frequently who seek to accelerate the development of wisdom and power in humanity, not only the humanity in 5D, but 4D, 3D, wherever they happen to be. They understand that a heaven world is the creation of humans who have advanced in wisdom, grace, and power. Lower consciousness people are unable to enter those heaven worlds because of the high frequency environment. They literally can't see and they can't hold that environment, and they become very stressed and very anxious. So 5D people design and build machines and structures that include artificial intelligence embedded in the material and used to enhance the frequency and natural consciousness of carefully designed materials that respond to human consciousness. That's why they don't bother building doors and windows. They just project the thought, I need a door, and a door opens because the material is conscious. A window opens for the same reason, so they can see. They conduct scientific research with an understanding of the nature of frequencies in order to develop a wide variety of technologies for healing, communication, housing, travel, safety, defense, etc. So they're always looking to improve their science and their alliance, their alignment, I guess I would say, with Mother Nature. 5D people understand and use the abilities that come with multidimensional existence. And they study and learn transdimensional skills and abilities. For a 5D person, transdimensional is to them what 3D people trying to learn intuition is to us. It's like, oh, I want to be able to do that. 5D people generate the frequency matrix that will produce the desired material, thus avoiding the destruction of a planetary environment. They just generate the materials. They study frequencies. The mapping of frequencies is astounding in 5D. They use technology to create beneficial materials, tools, and environments that allow them to join the spacefaring races of the cosmos. That's the goal, being able to get off the planet, get out of the solar system, see what else is out there. That's their form of travel. 5D people conduct business in such a way that those struggling, suffering, or losing are boosted, helped, and brought to a place of security, joy, and peace. That's their MO. That is their way of doing business. How do we make the lives of those people better? Good health in 5D is critical to maintaining consciousness. People practice complete regeneration of body and mind. Their commitment is to a clean world in order to have perfect health. And that is why they're somewhat reluctant to come here, because it's so polluted. 5D people have, they completely avoid dead food. They have a deep commitment to individualized, high-density nutrition and high energy in the food using nature and technology. The way they produce food is a subject all of its own. They use science and research to eliminate frequencies that cause disease and discover those that expand and restore function, as well as correct many problems. Frequencies in 5D are used to expand and heal physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual understandings and functions. In 5D, intelligence plus high-level consciousness replaces money. It's all about intelligence. It's all about wisdom and power. If money is needed for a transaction in the lower worlds, it is simply generated for that transaction. They develop consciousness and lifestyles that eliminate disease and accidents. They travel about the planet and the galaxy using consciousness for short or nearby trips that simply relocate the body-mind system wherever needed or desired, and using consciousness-controlled ships for longer travel in groups. 5D people need 2 to 3 hours of sleep per undetermined period in order to repair and regenerate the body. They try to keep that body in tip-top shape or condition all the time. They create and dissolve minimal forms of furniture on demand. They create and then dissolve minimal forms of furniture on demand as needed, using conscious relationships with space from which they draw much support. In other words, they don't clutter their space with furniture. They don't go to Art Van and buy anything, or JCPenney or wherever. They just simply manifest a piece of furniture if they need it. And then they dissolve that when they don't need it. They develop reward systems in place of money systems. They develop reward systems designed to support the full development of each human in order that they will contribute to the value system of the group. The whole goal is, reward people for doing something beautiful, something that helps the entire group. They design and carry out projects which everybody contributes to and benefits from personally, as well as in business and in the greater group. And lastly, gold, silver, and other materials are freely available, but they're used mostly in high technology. The highest value is placed on relationships, not gold, silver, money, platinum, any of that stuff. As we go through the next few months, get that consciousness out and practice, pick an area and just practice 4D thinking for a day. And the next day, try 5D and see what a difference that makes. It could be in the area of clothing. It could be in the area of money. It could be health. It could be whatever. But be aware that if you want to move, if we want our world to be peaceful, if we want to move to 4D or 5D consciousness, you have to practice. It's like learning to play the piano or anything else. You have to practice. You develop that muscle, and then it becomes natural. Your thinking, your attitudes, your reactions are naturally of a whole different order. So, like I said, we're coming into a time where you're going to have to get that consciousness out and apply it, use it to make things happen, to bring things that you need, to avoid things that you don't want or need. And that will teach you a lot. So I'll leave you with your thoughts and your practice. Take care.